Is Telangana going to be the big story of elections 2023? With just 48 hours to go, the big guns of all political parties are on the ground in Telangana, from where we have just returned. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. Today, we'll be taking a deep dive into the Telangana campaign, looking at the three contending players, the BJP, the BRS, and the Congress. Can a resurgent Congress stop KCR from achieving what he's claiming will be a hat trick? Who is whose B team? How will the Muslims of Telangana vote? And what will happen to the national politics, opposition politics, if the Congress is able to pull off a surprise victory, as many pundits on the ground in Telangana are now forecasting? There's a lot to talk about. Today, we look at Telangana with three top analysts who have a keen understanding of the politics of the state. Let me introduce them on the panel today, on our program today. Joining us is KT Nambiar, political analyst, a fan of the Prime Minister, but I wonder how he sees the BJP's chances in the state of Telangana. Also joining us is Sriram Kari, senior journalist on the ground. He's a resident editor at the Deccan Chronicle. Good to see you, Sriram. And also joining us is our favorite political pundit and psephologist, Yashwant Deshmukh, who, of course, leads voter. Welcome, gentlemen. And before I actually look at both interview excerpts from KT Rama Rao and Revant Reddy, the BRS and Congress leaders respectively, and also look at numbers, Yashwant, let me come to you. As we bring up the C voter numbers, the opinion poll, the survey on seats and vote share, and let's have that slide come up. Has anything changed in your political understanding from the time you did the survey to what we've been seeing happening in the last I would say even a couple of weeks? Yashwant. Hang on, Yashwant, I can't hear you. Start again. Go ahead.
Now you can hear me. So actually, as per the Election Commission, of course, that's the last number that's on the screen, and after that, we only have to rely on the campaign and everything to make sense where exactly this is going from there. What I feel that, when we are tracking the data for Telangana for almost a year, we could sense few very major changes that were happening. Number one, there was a palpable anti-incumbency sentiment that was going around, and when we were comparing the data of the 5 states going into the poll, we could sense that probably this is one state where the anger against the government is probably the maximum. Rest everywhere, it was kind of a gray area. However, unlike other states, it was Telangana where the anger and the voting intention somehow were not mapping up in a proper way because of the confusion of opposition space. The thing that happened over there was that bigger number of people said that we want to change the government, yet we were a bit.
I've lost you there, Yashwant, but you're talking about the anger in the state, and we have that slide there. 57% say they're angry and they want to change the government. Yet, Yashwant, we lost you briefly there, but the slide of 57% people saying they're angry and they want to change the government is up on the screen. Go ahead.
Right. So basically, what's happening over here is that last year, this point of time when we were discussing Barkha, BJP was very, very comfortably placed at the number 2 option in Telangana. It was so comfortable over there that, even I kind of commented that probably Telangana is going to be the second saffron state as far as South is concerned. But post Karnataka election, the BJP graph, it was already kind of dwindling before that because of the confusion in the BJP rank and file on the BJP's campaign, whether they have to campaign against the KCR government or not. And that's the confusion. It got consolidated after the Karnataka elections happened. And since then, BJP is on a kind of a slide. Last year, at this point of time, BJP was somewhere hovering around 28, 29%, even touched 30% once in our tracker. But the last time when we did the poll before the Election Commission embargoes came in, they were dwindling around 14, 15%. So that was almost a drop of 12, 13%, and that injected an upswing of Congress of sort. The thing is, Barkha, you just went there and probably you must have met many Congress leaders and supporters as well. things look rosy for them. But the problem is the Congress in a capacity, institutional capacity, to make full use of anti-incumbency? Can they really make this happen? That's where the problem is. The operational part is the capacity. That's where the issue is going to happen. If they can actually manage to get the anti-incumbent voters right up to the booth, they can very well spring a surprise. If not, then you can always trust the BRS and their machinery, well-oiled machinery of resources, as well as their ground management, booth management, that they might kind of swing it their way on the day of the voting by just managing the booths properly, managing the booths better than the Congress. This is the situation how I read. I mean, rest of the two gentlemen, they know the day-to-day situation over there much better than me, qualitatively speaking. So they might like to correct.
So no, that's a very, I think, interesting perspective. And let me bring in Sri Ram, who for a while has actually been forecasting a kind of rosier performance for the Congress than was anticipated. But Sri Ram, I think that last point of Yashwant is an important point about the institutional capacity of the Congress, about the fact that there could still be things that happen post-poll. And the fact is that the Congress has built its narrative, in fact, on the fact that the BJP and the BRS are close. This seems to be believed by many of the voters in Telangana. The narrative is working despite the best attempts of the BRS to counter it. But the BJP also made one fatal error. Once again, it changed a key leadership position in a state in the middle of an election. Can you talk a little bit about that first?
Barkha, in this movie Triple R, which I'm sure was made in Hyderabad, a lot of people saw, and Ajay Devgan has a dialogue. If the warrior is ready and the war is set, weapons will find a way to reach the hands of the warrior. This resurgence, while looks aided and abetted by the series of mistakes by BJP, and I said this last year, and I think I'm very certain now about it, that BJP made every single mistake they could. They did not lose a single opportunity to get a single decision wrong. If they had just tossed the coin up and taken all the decisions, they would have got half of them correctly. This resurgence is not because of the Congress party alone. Yes, Congress has ensured they have not fallen too short of people's expectations in looking for an alternative to KCR by putting the right leadership in the form of Revant Reddy, the right backing by the center, Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra onwards till now, the right kind of a campaign on the ground. But mostly the resurgence of Congress is because of the desire of people to defeat BRS. Let me tell you, this is one time. Very often you hear parties saying that this is not a fight, we are fighting, people are fighting. In Telangana, I've genuinely seen people have built Congress up because of their core desire. And yes, BRS has a phenomenal ability. And certain exit polls that were created in this country were not aired by certain channels because of the kind of pressure BRS could exert. And I'm saying this very responsibly. And so on and so forth. Their might is phenomenal.
But can I start? I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but I want to start about the images we just played. Bandi Sanjay, a key BJP leader who was in charge of the campaign, and he was removed by the BJP or changed by the BJP midway. Do you think this was one of the big mistakes the BJP made?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Bandi Sanjay was the first BJP leader who genuinely wanted to bring his party to power in a Telugu-speaking state. It has never happened. All BJP leaders from the Telugu states were cozying up since the time Chandrababu Naidu became Chief Minister, and before that. Telangana was a state rife for BJP. It is perfect recipe for the BJP coming to power. Last year, Bandi Sanjay looked like he may fall short, but his attempt was genuine. He's the first Telugu BJP leader who wanted to bring his party to power, and the sabotage that was done has caused so much heartburn in BJP voters. They are now voting for Congress in Assembly. They will go back to voting for Modi in Lok Sabha. But this is an amazing thing. Once BJP fell, the Muslim vote came, the RSS vote came. The Reddy vote is here because of the Chandrababu Naidu, the mistake of KTR trying to suppress their campaign. The Kammas are voting. Revant Reddy is pulling and Congress is pulling unbelievable kind of an engineering. It is not socially engineering done by the party. It is just people coming together with one common theme who otherwise would disagree on many things. They want to see the end of BRS government.
Okay, those are strong. That's a strong words there that they want to see the end of the BRS government. Let me bring in actually PKD Nambiar here, Mr. Nambiar. This particular set of decisions that the BJP makes, whether it's sidelining of Vasundhara in Rajasthan, Yediyurappa in Karnataka, Shivraj in Madhya Pradesh, Bandi Sanjay. One thing that literally everybody on the ground said to me is that a key mistake by the BJP has been to, again, in the middle of election season, replace or change a man who had traction, who had a power, a charisma. How do you see the fact that the BJP appears to have been completely marginalized in a state where it once took the state so seriously that it held its national executive there? It wanted that state to be its gateway into the south. It was at least hoping to be the main opposition party. PKD Nambiar.
At least I never thought, Barkha, that BJP is going to form a government in Karnataka. In Telangana. The reason being, even though it has always got some amount of pockets where they are very, very strong. They always have got some of the MPs, not from today, from so long. But the fact of the matter is that BJP is even discussed as serious as Congress, and BRS itself is an achievement for the BJP. Now we are talking of when did the BJP became one of the major player, or giving that kind of an image that yes, they could maybe come back and rule the state, is after the Hyderabad municipality election. The rural area, wherever when we divide the Hindus in the form of Kamma, Reddy and all those kind of stuff, the BJP was not that strong. There may be the 36% of the Telangana, it's even in the seawater, is saying that they like Prime Minister Modi. In fact, today, if at all, if there is a doubt for anybody is having that, oh yes, there is maybe a possibility that BRS and BJP might come together. Just a few minutes ago or a few hours ago, Prime Minister has very clearly said that the BRS or the KCR went and requested for his position, but to join the NDA, but he refused, and he will never be a part of us. I think the Prime Minister is saying, and very crystal clear, that yes, the BRS will not be a part of NDA, and BRS and BJP will never come together. So I think once that kind of a statement has put up, so that question of they will come together later on may not exist as of now.
Well, there's no such thing as never in politics. I don't believe any politician when they say we will not come together, even the Prime Minister, with great respect. Because right now he's not campaigning as the Prime Minister, he's campaigning as Narendra Modi, the leader of the BJP also.
BJP.
Right?
So I'm saying that even I absolutely agree with you. The beauty is that if BJP get about 15-20 seats, which it may, if it gets, then the overall ball game will be whatever we are discussing. Even what Yashwanji was talking about, the Congress has come up very well. Congress has come up very well not because of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. It's also because of the DK Shivkumar, and the fund is flowing like anything for Congress. Generally, there is a lot of issues Congress do have because they are not in ruling. So there is a fund issue. But in this case, smartly, they have placed DK Shivkumar as the in charge for the Congress, and they now know that there is no issue for the funds. So I think there is well marketed. Congress has done a good job. BJP is also doing a very, very good job, and changing Bandi Sanjay in the particular time may not be a good decision from the point of view of all of us, but from the party point of view, they would have their own strategy in place. They may have a solid reason in between if they had to change.
Let me come in on that point that you made, that the Prime Minister just today said that KCR came to him and wanted to be part of the NDA, but he refused. Let's first listen to what the Prime Minister said, and then I'm going to play you what KTR said in response, because this is not the first time the Prime Minister is saying this. Listen in. The Prime Minister says KCR wanted to make his son the Chief Minister and join the NDA and move to Delhi politics. Take a look.
जब वो एक बार दिल्ली आए थे तो मुझसे मिलकर भी केसीआर ने यही रिक्वेस्ट की थी, लेकिन बीजेपी कभी भी तेलंगाना के लोगों की इच्छा के खिलाफ कोई भी काम नहीं कर सकती। जब से बीजेपी ने केसीआर को मना किया है, तब से बीआरएस बौखलाई हुई है। बीआरएस अब मुझे गाली देने का कोई मौका नहीं छोड़ती। बीआरएस जानती है कि मोदी कभी बीआरएस को बीजेपी के आसपास भी फटकने नहीं देंगे।
Now, this is very interesting. The Prime Minister says KCR wanted to join the NDA. He said no, that's why he's being abused. What does KT Rama Rao say, the son of KCR, the Chief Minister, and in many ways the face of the campaign? Take a look and then we'll open it up for your comments.
मोदी ने कहा कि हम एनडीए ज्वाइन होना चाह रहे थे। मैं ये बात पूछता हूँ बरका कि मोदी जी के वर्ड्स कब से सैक्रोसैंक्ट बन गए इस देश में? उन्होंने तो कहा था कि 2024-2022 तक हर किसी के पास घर होगा, हर घर में नल होगा, बुलेट ट्रेन्स दौड़ेंगे, 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी होगा।
What's the truth of that? What's the truth of the conversation that took place between your father and the Prime Minister?
जितना ट्रूथ बाकी चीजों में था जो मोदी ने कहा कि 15 लाख मिलेगा, 2 करोड़ युवाओं को बेरोजगार मिलेगा और 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी हो जाएगा, साथ ही साथ आमदनी डबल हो जाएगी किसानों की, उनमें जितना वास्तव है इसमें भी उतना ही वास्तव है।
Are you accusing the Prime Minister of lying?
Isn't he one?
You tell me. You're
Absolutely.
the politician,
Absolutely.
I'm the journalist.
Well, absolutely. Because
You're calling the Prime Minister a liar.
I'm calling him a great script writer. I think he should try his hand at winning an Academy Award, because, Natu won the Oscar for Best Dance and Best Song. I think the Prime Minister is capable of winning an Oscar for Best Script Writing.
So what happened in that conversation? That meeting did take place, right? Between your father and the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister and the Chief Minister meeting each other is quite normal. I mean, these are two institutions, which have to be in sync, which have to work in sync. The Prime Minister meeting a Chief Minister is not a big news.
So what happened in the conversation?
And what transpires in a 45-minute to 1-hour meeting is something that you'll have to ask either of them. But I can tell you one thing, and our Chief Minister has already answered it in the recent India Today interview as well. He had categorically denied it, saying basically it's a figment of the Prime Minister's imagination.
Okay, it's a figment of the Prime Minister's imagination. We never wanted to join the NDA, but the Congress has gone hammer and tong on the ground, suggesting that these two parties are together. Is that sort of being plausibly believed, not just by the Muslim voter in Telangana, but also by other voters who are looking for a change? Listen to what Revanth Reddy, the face of the Congress campaign, said about the possibility of the BRS and the BJP joining hands. Are you worried though कि BJP और BRS, you all keep saying in your campaign, ये एक दूसरे की B team है. If you don't get a significant majority, तो ये तो चुनाव के बाद भी हाथ मिला सकते हैं.
मैं कभी भी B team नहीं कहा है. वो सीधा अलायंस है. NDA कूटमी में BJP
अलायंस है. B team भी नहीं बोल रहा.
Strategic alliance. This is called strategic alliance. BRS, BJP, MIM. India NDA कूटमी. Congress, CPI, Telangana Janashakti, Professor Kodanram is India Kutami. So the election is going between NDA Kutami and India Kutami. So picture साफ है. इसमें कोई छुपाने का नहीं है, कोई मुखौटा नहीं है. तो लोगों को पता है how they are supporting each and other.
So very interesting, different perspectives. Yashwant, I'll come to you. Politics is such fun, actually. That's what elections really reminds you. The sort of groundedness of politicians on the ground can never match what we understand. They understand politics in a way that we are still trying to. But as much as we can read between the lines, what do you read between the lines in these three statements you've just heard? The Prime Minister, KT Rama Rao, and Revanth Reddy. Yashwant, I'll start with you.
Well, I think the BJP is now trying really, really hard to ensure that they get enough votes in order to stop Congress from coming to power. And it is against the same script. You see, what is happening, Barkha, is that BJP, it's the second time, first in 1998 and now in 2024, 23, that BJP has actually lost the plot. It handed over Telangana on a platter just because of their central level equationings. 1998 Lok Sabha, BJP polled 20% in United Andhra and 30% plus in Telangana. But they gave it on a platter because of Chandrababu Naidu. Now this time, because of this, what shall I say? It's open-closed understanding with the BRS at the center, which actually gained ground, saying people understanding that they are pretty much working together. And I think what mistake BJP strategists did, that they thought under no circumstances the vote bank, which is shifting between BRS and the BJP, will go to the Congress. So even if they attack or they do not attack the BRS, BJP thought that our vote are unlikely to go to the Congress. They forgot that it's not just the anti-Congress vote that the BJP is getting. BJP was also getting attraction because of the anti-BRS votes in the state. And that is precisely what happened. Trending between 28 to 30% last year to trending, this year, like almost like 12, 13% below that peak. That was the chunk which was anti-BRS, and they actually lost that to Congress over the last 6 months. So they tried to be over smart, and it kind of backfired, big time backfired to them. And it's ridiculous. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. When you look into the BJP's strategy and their masterminds and the way they go about the election, how could they commit this kind of harakiri? This goes beyond my understanding. I mean, honestly speaking, this was something which should have come very easy to them, really easy to them. In fact, going aggressive against KCR, it would have only helped KCR if they wanted to help KCR.
Yeah.
This surrendering into the KCR actually backfired big time.
And that is what my conspiracy theory mind, Sriram, started thinking, that it's so confusing. We don't know who is whose B team. But Yashwant takes the very important point that distance between the BJP and the BRS would have actually at least helped the BJP in keeping the Congress out. If the Congress is within winning grasp, we don't know. The Congress believes it is. You said the BJP made one fatal mistake with Bandi Sanjay. The other mistake has been pointed out by Yashwant, the kind of commonsensical mistake. What changed? Why was it so different a month ago, 2 months ago, and why is it looking so different today? Shriram?
No, Barkha, this is not true. I think around May of this year, those of us who have written about it, reported about it, knew, and I said it last year also when people were talking about BJP, and I said at this point of time, in your very show, more than 12 months back, I can see a clear route of victory for all three parties. Around June of this year, BJP was completely gone, and there was very, very clear understanding that Congress will sweep this state. I'm not saying it will win a small margin of victory. I'm telling you this, it's very risky. It's never advisable to...
You're calling the election before voting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are saying the Congress, because I'm going to remind you of these words on the 3rd of December, Sriram.
I'll come back to either gloat or to take the shame without any second.
Okay. You are saying the Congress is not just going to win, it is going to sweep Telangana in your estimation. If you had to pick up one reason One reason why that is the case, what would that be?
I wish you could find last year's video of at least all four of us were there, if I'm not wrong, and I told you that one reason, Revant Reddy.
Right.
And everybody, including the BJP, underestimated this man because they didn't know who he was. They didn't properly brief the central. Because see, the BJP, the kind of campaign they're running today, I was just coming past the area Prime Minister was. He's spoken in such good Telugu. People are amazed. Let me tell you, when Modi comes back for Lok Sabha election, you will see a very different picture. He knows the results. I mean, you have to say it. If Virat Kohli is the best batsman, Narendra Modi, there is no two ways about who's the best campaigner in India by a very big stretch of imagination.
And yet that didn't work for them in Telangana.
It will not work because people are looking at Modi like, wow, how much we love this man as the Prime Minister. They know that they are dealing with a set of state. See, this state was born after an agitation. This state is not like the aspirations of this state are different. 2014, we were not like Karnataka or Maharashtra that you compare. And this is something, Barkha, I want you to think about and Yashwant to think about. We often talk about delivery of governments without keeping in mind something called the aspiration quotient. Come and do an aspiration. In Odisha, the aspiration quotient might be different. In Bengal, it might be different. In Telangana, it's at the peak. We got our biggest dream. We won a lottery. Are you saying if I win a lottery, my son's aspiration will be same as my neighbor who just gets his monthly salary? So the delivery that KCR did is maybe better than Odisha or Andhra or Tamil Nadu, but falls far short of the expectation. This simple fact was missed by BRS in its campaign and by BJP in not anticipating that they do not deliver to what the people really want. People will also reject them.
I want to pick up, Yashwant, very briefly before I go to PKD, whether you will look at your own number a bit differently today. You know, you were saying in the beginning that there was a kind of disconnect between how angry people were. 57% in your survey said that they were angry, they wanted to change the government. Yet KCR remained the preferred choice for chief minister. Revant Reddy was not was not seen as a factor. Shriram is identifying him to be the factor, not Rahul Gandhi, but actually also that there was a kind of underestimation of Revant Reddy's ability to turn this campaign around. Do you kind of agree with that?
Shriram is absolutely correct. Revant was not that far off. You know, you are talking about.
Yeah, let's have that slide. I want that slide again of the preferred chief ministers. But go ahead.
You look into it because KCR being founder, concentrated as the father of Telangana. Look at his numbers, and Revant Reddy's number. And then you will realize that he is not really, see, there you go, 37 to 31. Yeah. You know, and that's not at all a bad number. When you are looking at 10 years of somebody who is in power, who is solely credited for the formation of Telangana, you know, and there you have a leader who is representing a party where a party was in decline and he was himself unsure where he stands for. So, of course, there was this harakiri by the BJP as far as Bandi Sanjay was concerned. It was a harakiri in terms of campaign. It was a harakiri in terms of every possible election strategy that you can think of. I mean, and that is a very strange thing to understand. But Revant Reddy, he is absolutely right. Revant Reddy is the only difference between, you know, when BJP dumped Bandi Sanjay, it was a double vacuum out there. First of all, anti-KCR vacuum, second, the vacuum that BJP created by dumping Bandi Sanjay. So he was more than happy to fill up that vacuum. Yeah. So if Congress wins this election, I mean, of course, Revant Reddy is important, and credit where due. I would like to give due credit to Rahul Gandhi for this, because Bharat Jodo Yatra had its impact. We did the Bharat Jodo Yatra tracker. You remember, Barkha? Yes. We said that in Karnataka it is going to have an impact. It happened. It did have an impact in Telangana. Nobody at that point of expected that Congress would come up and fill up the vacuum so quickly that it might be actually knocking at the doors of power.
I want to talk about the Rahul Gandhi factor, because Shriram didn't say Rahul Gandhi, he didn't say Bharat Jodo, and I want to play out for you the names that KTR is using for Rahul Gandhi. But PKD, do you want to just come in with a comment there on very interesting the fact that the Prime Minister has not diminished in popularity. Not according to Sriram, not according to Yashwant, but this is not the Lok Sabha elections. And the BJP is learning this again and again and again at state level elections. They are becoming like the Congress. They think that the centralized leadership is enough. And the Congress is borrowing from them. The Congress today is creating a new generation of regional leaders. It's a very interesting reversal, PKD.
Yeah, that's true. There are places like, if I would rather say in this level, if Telangana goes the Congress way, it may be the South versus North. It will have an impact. There is no other state, whether it is Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan will not have any national impact when it comes to the national election. But for the south of India, it will definitely have an impact if it goes to the Congress way, because Karnataka, then Telangana, then Kerala, they might get it, and or there is in Tamil Nadu, they already are together, both Congress and so there will be a north and south divide. The Congress
very important, very important. It will really be north versus south politics.
Yeah, but I am afraid that BRS will not go the way we are all thinking, and there will be a sweep of Revan Reddy or the Congress. That's not going to. We all know that KCR is a master politician. He has been doing from the last 1.5 years. He has made so much of news in every possible way. They have also the only thing which is going against the KCR is that the public at the ground feels that KTR is going to be the new chief minister and not the KCR. They don't have that kind of an affection to KTR, the son, because he may be doing good for himself as a minister or as a leader, but KCR has been, as Sriram was talking about, that he is more of like a father of the Telangana. There may be some amount of special love for him. That is the reason he still gets.
Sriram is aggressively disagreeing, so I'm going to allow him
to respond.
Yeah, Sriram, go ahead. Yeah, Sriram.
Look, I've heard a lot of theories about Telangana. These are called home thoughts from abroad. It's all nice to know what we are being thought of from such a good distance. Nice to know that. Trust me, none of it made sense to me. People are not thinking like that. These are contextualized questions, but I can tell you, there's firstly, nobody thinks of KTR as CM candidate when KCR is around. You don't understand either KCR or Telangana well to say that. No more than anybody can think they'll be prime minister when Modi is around. Please, no, that's not true at all. Everybody knows KCR is the supreme leader. He is the only question in front of the elections. The issue is not Mr. Modi, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, not even Revant or Bandi Sanjay. People had only one question in their minds. Should we give a third direct term to KCR as chief minister, which, if it happens, would be unprecedented in the history of independent India's South Indian politics? And the people of Telangana have, without getting into all these parameters, Excel sheets, or graphs, have simply decided, we have given KCR 2 terms. Let's give Congress one.
Look. You have called this election for the Congress before counting day. But Sriram, hypothetically, KT Rama Rao said to me that if they pull off a hat trick, if they do, he drew an analogy with the Prime Minister. He said Modi's hat trick catapulted him to a PM contender. Why not my father? So I just want to put it out there. I don't know if anybody takes that seriously beyond political rhetoric, but the TRS maybe overestimated itself. It rechristened itself as the BRS. It became the Bharatiya Janata Samithi. Yashwant, you wanted to come in there? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's precisely when he did that. I would like to use Hindi phrase, ki top mangoge to banduk milegi. So he was just trying to put himself as the prime ministerial candidate, revive a bit of Telugu Bidda somewhere, that old thing, that, here we have a national stature person, can't even give him one more chance as the chief minister, So that is something at play. I understand that. And nobody, by the way, Barkha, when our tracker and our numbers, they show that, there is a huge anger, nobody is taking KCR lightly. He has a fan following. His race probably starts at 35%.
Correct.
While everybody else is starting at 25% and 15% for that matter. So obviously he has that kind of cushion with him big time. And also not to forget, he had a huge cushion of sitting MLAs where he could chop off the non-performing MLAs and drop and give fresh faces and those kind of things. He has his plus points, no doubt about that. But having said that, what I understand from data or like that, if this is an election for Congress to lose, and if Congress doesn't win this election, it is largely because of the better election management by BRS, by the booth management, by the resources facilitation and like that. Whatever the Congress has all the good reasons to win this election. If they are unable to win this, then they will be only themselves to blame. And it is not going to be I would be I would be calling it as a one-sided or anything. It will be a good election,
good fight.
Good fight. And Barkha, mind my words, if the Congress stops at 59 or 58, they won't be able to form the government. For the Congress to form the government, they need to cross 60. I don't know what Sriram is going to say on this comment on,
No, it's a very important point, because the point is that the BJP and the BRS then can manage. We can see a Madhya Pradesh repeat. We can see a Karnataka part 1 repeat. The Congress is to not just win, it has to win handsomely. And I think that's a very important point, or comfortably at least. And before I come back for comments on that, I want to talk a little bit about the Rahul Gandhi factor. KCR is not really talking to the media in this campaign. KTR has been the face of this campaign to not just Telangana, but outside Telangana as far as the media is concerned. And in that interview to me, he used very strong words for Rahul Gandhi. And I want to play that and then talk a little bit about the Rahul Gandhi impact, yes or no, in this election. Take a look.
They use a B team phrase for you. You used a B word for him.
Well, what do you call a guy who accuses...
What's the word first?
Well, I called him a buffoon.
Rahul Gandhi.
Yes, and the reason why I called him a buffoon is because what do you call a guy who accuses KCR Garu of 1 lakh crore grab in an 80,000 crore project? The project भी खत्म हो गया, पानी भी आ रहा है. इस सब देखने के बाद भी 80,000 crore में जो project खत्म हो गया, उसमें आके कहता है आदमी कि 1 लाख crore का घोटाला हो गया. उसको क्या बोले बफून नहीं?
But the essence of the allegation?
The essence of the allegation is it's untrue, it's silly and it's absurd. And 9.5 years, Modi has been saying the same thing. BJP has been saying the same thing. But any iota of evidence, let them go to a court of law and prove it.
So he's calling Rahul Gandhi a buffoon. He's calling the Prime Minister a script writer. He's calling Rahul Gandhi a script reader. Sriram, you want to come in first and then I'll go to PKD and Yashwant? Sriram? Hang on, I can't hear you. Please, can we unmute Sriram? Yeah.
The same exact phrase was used by Chief Minister K. Chandrashekar Rao for Rahul Gandhi in the last election. There's nothing new. So yes, see, the name calling and all have become too common and people will say, but what does it indicate really? I don't think a person who's shot to win based on booth management or last minute gimmicks. Today, look at what happened to Raitu Bandhu and the Election Commission. 4 days ago, they've got an approval from Election Commission of India to put money, which is like a direct farmer subsidy. Tomorrow, the only last working day of the campaign, it worked for them in 2018. As farmers go to the field, they get the SMSs, you got 10,000 into your account, 20,000. Today, the Election Commission has stopped it because Harish Rao, the minister, was campaigning using it. They said, if it's all Congress asked was, can you wait for 3 days? They said, no, it has to be done. Otherwise, they never gave it in November. So these are the kind of cynical instruments being used by BRS. And yes, this is part of their booth management. And booth management, by the way, I spoke to a lot of candidates. They're asking me, how much booth management should we do? For booth management in Telangana means how much cash should we distribute? So it's no longer booth management as in you have booth workers.
But do you agree with Yashwant that the Congress needs a handsome, clear victory, not just single largest party?
59 seats and there will be a BRS government without a doubt. And that is one of the reasons why.
So you agree.
No. People said now we can't afford to give Congress a small victory. We have to give an emphatic victory. And people are saying, since we want KCR out, if we give 35, BJP 15, God, we'll be in risk. people have decided that they want a government which will last 5 years of Congress, which is why with this kind of threats, this was part of BRS's campaign. They have 7 CMs. Every 6 months one government will fall. They kept saying Congress MLAs will be sold, but who's going to buy it? So everybody understands and watches it. And yes, while there may be a emphatic sense of Stockholm syndrome with the Delhi media and national commentators about how the invincibility of BRS, let me tell you, people of Telangana have other thoughts.
Okay, those are very strong words. And this is while Yashwant Sriram maintains that this is not any kind of commentary on the Prime Minister's popularity. Interestingly, Yogi Adityanath was also called in to campaign in Telangana. The BJP isn't taking this election lightly. If you were the BJP now, given everything that's gone wrong, what would be, Yashwant, your goal as the BJP party?
Just to cross the double digit. I mean, right now, if their goal is to stop the Congress from coming to power, I mean, they have to ensure that they get more than 10 seats, first of all, to start with, and then concentrated campaign. And as their campaign is majority in those seats are largely where there is a communal polarization and that kind of campaign. That is why you see Yogi Adityanath being now, put into the campaign mode. So obviously, but they lost the bigger plot. See, they could have been somebody else, larger than just being Hyderabad and Adilabad kind of party. They lost the bigger plot. So it's strange and it's interesting. I hear what Sriram says, because once the mood sets in for change, then it sets in for change. However, I would be only cautious in looking at those things, because we have seen Congress plunder more on so many occasions of, snatching the defeat from the jaws of victory, as we say. Unless Congress actually manages to do this, convert this thing, I would be kind of reserving my comment. But as I said, this is an election for the Congress to lose.
PKD, I want you to come in on the north-south divide if Telangana is taken by the Congress. It'll be literally a horizontal divide.
Absolutely. There will be, because as you said, Rahul Gandhi was not campaigning in Himachal Pradesh. Rahul Gandhi was not campaigning enough in many other places, but he did a little bit in Karnataka. But this time around in Telangana, he is campaigning very, very, both the sister and brother is campaigning too much, because they feel that, yes, South is an intellectual hub from the Indian perspective. South has got better infrastructure, better education in every aspect. It is a very progressive side of India. And if we have a command over there as a political party, it will have slowly a reflection on the North as well. If not North completely, for an example, in many other states, it will have an impact. So, but I am not going by both Yashwantji and Sriram this time around. It will be a hung assembly predominantly, wherein BJP will be the one who will decide the government, who will be in the.
So you think the BJP is going to be the kingmaker? Sriram is holding his head. Okay, but
Sriram, I'll tell you, you don't make more. You don't have to be sarcastic. But one thing I'll tell you why I said internal mapping of BJP, as far as I know, is 25 seats they will get. If 20 out of 25, if not 25, even if it is 15 seats, and both the other parties are contesting very well, as all of us are saying, then who will be the kingmaker?
Okay. I think there's a fair question there. But before I come to Sriram on it, something we haven't spoken about is the Muslim voter. 13% of Telangana, and there is a very interesting debate in Telangana about where will the Muslim vote? Will the Muslim vote be split? Who will benefit from that? Asaduddin Owaisi fighting hard for his sort of 7 seats in the Hyderabad area. Will he pull that off again? Many, many questions there. In the meantime, Mr. Owaisi, who's an ally of the BRS, has targeted Revanth Reddy, the face of the Congress, for his past. He's called him an RSS Anna, right? And I put this question to Revanth Reddy. How do you respond to Owaisi's criticism that you hate anybody who wears a skull cap and sports a beard. That's exactly what Owaisi said about Revanth Reddy. Listen in.
कोशा महल असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी जहां से राजा सिंह रिप्रेजेंट करता है,
बीजेपी
वही
को।
वही एरिया में एमआईएम हेडक्वार्टर्स दारुसलाम आती है, वो असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में। वही असेंबली हैदराबाद पार्लियामेंट जहां पर असदुद्दीन ओवैसी एमपी है, वो असेंबली में चुनाव क्यों नहीं लड़ रहा है? व्हाट इज योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग विद बीजेपी? आप अगर ये गलत है तो मक्का मस्जिद में आके कुरान उठाकर बोलो कि भाई योगी जी का और अमित भाई का खास आदमी मेरा घर पे दावत पे नहीं आया, मेरा गाड़ी कर्नाटक में इस्तेमाल नहीं किया। ये दो सवालों को जवाब दो, बोलो। तब कौन किसी के साथ है? किसी के शेरवानी के नीचे पैजामा नहीं है, खाकी निक्कर है, सबको पता लगेगा।
आप कह रहे हैं कि असद ओवैसी के शेरवानी के नीचे खाकी निक्कर है, और वो कह रहे हैं आप आरएसएस अन्ना है।
इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूं, जब उनके बारे में चर्चा हो गए तो फिर उनके लिए दिक्कत होगा। इसीलिए मेरे ऊपर इल्जाम लगा रहे। भाई मैं 20 ईयर से राजनीति में हूं, अगर वो सच है तो मैं सीधा जाके बीजेपी में ज्वाइन होकर अमित भाई से, योगी से मैं मिलकर काम करते थे ना।
So one thing I have to say, I met Revanth Reddy for the first time as a flawed North Indian Delhi-based journalist. PK, you wanted to come in. I was quite struck by how comfortable he was in his own skin, very confident, very easygoing. He said, I make no apology. मुझे RSS BJP join करना तो मैं जाता अमित शाह के पास। ओवैसी की शेरवानी के नीचे खाकी निक्कर है। PKD Nambiar.
Well, this is something which we are not hearing it for the first time. Even in wherever MIM is going and contesting elections, they say that it's a BJP's B team, and whereas I don't know whether is there anybody else in this country who is every day talks anti-BJP mantra, that is Mr. Owaisi. So I don't think that there is no power. Maybe, of course, in Telangana, definitely Owaisi has got enough hold on to the Muslim votes, but the rest of the country he do not have. He may be able to pull up some votes, and I also wanted to ask you, maybe Yashwanti, you can correct it, that it's only 7% of the vote is Muslims in Telangana. Am I right?
Yashwant, you want to come in? I thought it's 13%. Could I be 30% of the population, maybe not the electorate? Yeah,
it's roughly about 12.5%. If I'm Sriram.
Yeah, that's right. According to me, it is only 6.7% or something like that is the Muslim vote, and that is also, there are two aspects. We are divided. There is a rural areas. BJP may not have that kind of a hold, whereas both the BRS and the BJP do have a very, very solid grounding on the urban voters. So I think there is also a divide between the rural and urban, and the entire state is going to behave in the similar fashion. I don't think so, because it is different constituencies. Hyderabad, of course, the OIC will have 7 to 8 guaranteed seats for himself. So the bottom line is that, so everything we can say that we are only predicting and discussing and debating. It's not like something like
okay, fair enough.
We want to see the same thing what we are thinking even today.
Of course. Shriram, before I give Yashwant the last word, Shriram.
All I'll say is we are on the penultimate day of the campaign to close on Monday. Tuesday, tomorrow, the campaign will end. On Thursday, we vote. On Sunday, we count. We'll all be back. But one thing I can say, yes, there was a very, very strong possibility for BRS to have retained this and made history. There was an opportunity for BJP to have created a second state in the south. And there was a very, very seemingly unlikely, if not black swan event, in the possibility of one man coming from RSS, TRS, TDP into Congress, becoming its leader less than 2.5 years ago, and taking it to a point where it will win according to many, and perhaps according to some, owing to certain last mile connectivity, booth management, may not, etc. Let us see what happens on Sunday. But one thing is going to be very clear, and that is this, that this will be a wonderful election whose results, when they come, I hope, a lot of these myths get questioned, and
Right.
more people introspect before generalizing on realities based on very, very vague familiarity instead of true
Okay,
experience.
we'll hold you to your prediction and your forecast as well. Yashwant, I want to give you the last word, just a national perspective. We pulled out the ABP voter numbers on the popularity of the Prime Minister and Rahul Gandhi across the 5 states that are headed to polls. Can we just go back to the previous slide for just 1 second? So if you look at these slides, other than Mizoram, where Mr. Gandhi has some degree of popularity, but the Prime Minister is still much more popular, and you look at Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. Now, can we move on to the next slide? Telangana is the only state where Rahul Gandhi is a more popular choice as a prime ministerial candidate than Narendra Modi. In all the other 4 states, it's completely the other way around. In fact, in the Hindi heartland, the numbers, the gap is staggering. So I just want to give you a closing word on that.
That's an impact of when the Congress rank and file is excited and going into poll. They have won Karnataka. They feel like they can win another one this year, within the same year, calendar year. So it's interesting to observe. However, I also feel, and I agree with other 2 panelists, that by the time Lok Sabha elections happen, these numbers might very well change, not just because of how electoral understanding works, but also because of the alliances. There are no permanent enemies and no permanent friends in politics. We know that. And I still believe that these election results might trigger another kind of alignment, direct or indirect, in many of the states, including Telangana. So it's an interesting battle. It's an amazing battle. And yes, when I said in the start, the mood is for change. How much that mood can be really implemented by the Congress, that's for the Congress to decide and to work on. So I remain firm, because that's what I've been saying for almost 6 months, even after too much of a lot of. And by the way, Barkha, you started asking me what's the number you feel like. Sometimes I feel like calling Sriram and saying, what is C voter number today? Because as per this viral things that keep on going around during the campaign, Barkha, so many C voter polls are doing around that even I am amazed. So, every morning I get one WhatsApp, and
take it as a compliment that you're a huge talking point.
At least they have only copied my logo. I remember in the Punjab election, Sriram, they were one step ahead. They even put my signature on that report. So
well, kudos to you, Yashwant. Of course, and it's all in the spirit of democracy. But fake news, of course, is not. But we've learned to laugh at it because we don't know what else to do with it. I think you should take yourself as a big talking point. A lot of people talked about C voter numbers even when I was on the ground. Real or fake now? I should have followed up with that question next time. Next time I will. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Sriram, PKD, and Yashwant. Always a pleasure.
Yashwant is a rock star in Telangana. He's one of the issues, actually.
He's one of the issues. We have to do a show on the Yashwant Deshmukh factor. Yashwant Deshmukh factor. That'll be our next show. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. And to our audience, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Mojo Story has always made a commitment to its viewers to go to where the story is. And as you can see here, we are at the epicenter of the Israel war on Gaza. We are right at the front line, about 1 mile from the Gaza Strip, as the Israeli military gets ready with its tanks and its gunners to begin its final frontal assault that will take troops into Gaza. As we said, we are not like other organizations. We believe in giving you all sides of the story objectively and as much as possible from the ground. And that's exactly what we're doing here, covering the biggest global story today from the epicenter of the war zone. So please, we need your support. Support us, become a Mojo member, subscribe to us, spread the word, and thank you for your support.